Welcome to Concord, North Carolina. Welcome to the Short Track Super League, the Tour Modified race for tonight. Third race in the season. The Concord racetrack here is a bit of an odd-shaped oval track. A tri-oval, really. As you can see here at the race information, it is basically a very short main straightaway, turn 1, and a very short chute towards turn 2. Then it's a straightaway, the backstretch, I suppose you can call it, towards a long sweep-in turn number 3 that brings us back to the short straightaway, and all this is less than half a mile long, 0.42 miles. It makes for some tight racing here tonight in the Super Modifieds. Race number 3, as said, in the Short Track Super League Series. Later tonight, we will be moving on to the trucks in this Short Track Super League Series as well. We'll be going on a road course for that one. That'll be interesting. Here tonight, it's 65 degrees Fahrenheit. We have 33% relative humidity, a partly cloudy sky, and no real wind. The track temperature list is shown as 68 degrees, which is good news for the drivers. A cooler track makes for less slippery conditions, so we're looking at some good racing here tonight. The feature will be 80 laps, and the yellow laps will count. What else can we tell you? We've been watching practice a little bit. Guys are looking to having a little bit of trouble here and there. With the cars getting loose off the turns. Some of them, as you can see here, are working with a push a little bit. The drivers are dealing with a fixed setup, meaning that everybody is running the exact same setup on the car. It's mandated by the race organizers. They can only change brake bias and steering ratio, but other than that, everything is exactly the same as their opponents. So it is a real driver's race here tonight. We're going to be going into qualifying here shortly. They will get 3 laps, an attempt of 3 laps. The best lap will count and determine their grid position for the race. The reason they opt for 3 laps is because it's a very short track. 3 laps will give them a little bit more opportunity to get some heat in the tires to be able to set a decent lap time. Alright, so the restarts during the race will be double file. The lapped cars will be brought to the back to avoid the faster cars having to work their way through traffic right on the restart. So that'll help them out a little bit. There are no fast repairs in this Short Track Super League Series, and they have unlimited tires for the race. We've seen some new names here during qualifying, and before we go into qualifying, let's show you the point standings after 2 races in the series. It's currently Kyle Eli that is leading the pack by 108 points over Michael Steffen with 69, so Eli has already built up quite a lead. Then it's Hughes with 67, Jordan Berry with 66, Fontaine with 57, Brooks, Anderson, Shockley, Telder, Miner, Horniak, Davis, Beckler, Cole, and Wyatt Sapp. And you can see the points there by their names on the right-hand side. It looks like the middle of the pack there in these first 15 drivers are fairly close together, and it's up to the guys to start closing that gap to Kyle Eli. Alright, so we're going to be moving into qualifying here. Practice has finished. And let's see if we can find anybody out there on the track. It looks like Matthew Telder is the first driver that is getting ready to go out. It's individual qualifying, so the drivers will not see each other, but we can pick up anybody that is on track. So let's see here, Matthew Telder in the 02 car. Let's see if he can post a lap time. And let's take a look at where he will come out. 3 laps, as said. Hope all the drivers are aware of that. We have some more drivers on the track already. It looks like Matthew Telder sets the first lap time here of 14.4. Oh, and there he goes off. That means that lap will be completely disallowed. iRacing requires everybody to drive a clean lap for in order for the time to count. Then, meanwhile, we see Jacob Shockley. It looks like he also had an issue. No, he just stopped the car. All right, so Jacob Shockley has picked up that provisional pole with a 14.203. It's Kevin Anderson now in the second spot. Curran Beckler in the third spot in the number 35 car. Matthew Telder has been dropped to fourth. He's still out there, and he still has 2 laps that he can set a time in. Ooh, and it looks like he hit the wall there as well, so once again, that time will be disallowed. Let's go see the 5th place car currently is Matthew Telder. Ooh, he's just been dropped down, and that's because Jake Brooks has taken over that provisional pole position. See if we can find Jake. There he is, standing on the track with a blown engine. Todd Liston is currently shown in 4th. And it looks like Sean Hufstutler has picked up 2nd position here. There you see him going in the 94 car. Looks like his 2nd lap was a little bit slower. With the tires trying to warm up, you'd think otherwise, but maybe he made a little bit of a mistake there. And his 3rd lap is even slower than that. And I just don't believe he was still on it in that 3rd lap. We still have Robert Smith on the track in the 08 car. Ooh, and he touches the wall there with understeer. So that lap will be disallowed, and that means for probably that his 2nd lap with a 14.660, that will have to do. Jordan Berry is here. Didn't see him in practice, and I was wondering about him, but Jordan is here. Ooh, looks like a lot of understeer in that final turn there that I've seen more drivers cope with. Jordan currently in the 14th position. Hopefully he can improve on that lap time here. And once again, ooh, major understeer here in that final turn, getting him into the wall, in trouble. Samuel Fontaine has picked up the 5th position currently. It looks like he still wants to go back out. He's only done 1 lap. Samuel in the 91 car. No, not sure what he's doing. There he goes. And nope, there he does not go. Let's go check on Curran Beckler. He has run 2 laps. So with an out lap, that would not be able to put in another one. Jordan Berry has left it at 1 lap there as well. 15.241. That means that Jordan has got his work cut out for him. Kyle Eli now on track with a 14.051. And it looks like Kyle Eli is once again picking up that pole position here. 1 lap is enough for him. He has no interest in doing some more, it looks like. Kyle Fredrickson, let's see where he is at. There he is, the 44 car, currently out on track trying to get a lap time in. And this is going to be his first timed lap, it looks like. Also dealing with major understeer there in turn 3. That looks like it might be a problem for these guys, that there's just no grip in that 3rd turn. Coming back onto the main straightaway, smoking engine now. That is not going to get him anywhere. Qualifying has ended, folks. Tough call for some of these guys. 19 drivers that have entered this race. Let's go see where they're at on the grid. And it looks like it's Kyle Eli once again picking up that pole position. Alongside him will be Jake Brooks. That's another series. Sorry about that. Sean Hufstutler on the 2nd row with Jacob Shockley. 3rd row is for Samuel Fontaine and Todd Liston. The 4th row will be Kevin Anderson and Curran Beckler. 5th row will be Matthew Telder and Michael Steffen. Then it's the 11th row with Robert Smith and Kevin Davis. Then we go to the where was I? Seventh row with Richard Benedetto and AJ DiMarzo. Then the eighth row, it's going to be Jordan Berry and Kyle Fredrickson. The ninth row, Jason Coe and Jeff Horniak. And on the final grid position, it is Jason Schuch by himself on that 20th row. 19 drivers starting this race, folks. That means we have a good crowd. It also means that we are going to deal with back markers throughout this race here. And that'll probably shake things up a little bit. 80 laps here at the Concord, North Carolina Speedway. As said, a bit of an odd-shaped tri-oval, a little bit different from what we normally run on. And we're waiting for the pace car to get moving. We're still waiting on two drivers in the back end of the field. That's Horniak and Jason Schuch. And I still don't see him out here. I hope they don't have a technical issue that prevents them from starting this race. Kyle Eli there on the inside in the black number 18 car. Then it's Jake Brooks in the 57 alongside him. Hufstadler in the 94 on the inside there. And then the 48 of Jacob Shockley on the outside of the second row. We're going to do 2 warm-up laps here to try and give the drivers a little bit of a chance to get some heat in the tires. You will see here shortly the entrance to the pit lane is before the third turn. There you see the pace car going in, and then they have to go through turn 3 to get on the main straightaway. They're waiting for the radio call. There we go. We're racing in Concord, North Carolina. It's Kyle Eli on the inside of Jake Brooks there. And the whole bunch coming right up behind him there, 2 and 3 wide. It looks like Kyle Eli is already pulling a little bit of distance on Jake Brooks. It's Sean Hufstadler in the third position here in the 94 car. Then it's Samuel Fontaine and Shockley in 4th and 5th. And a big bunch of cars behind those guys there. It is Kevin Anderson on the inside there in the 81, trying to get Todd Liston behind him. Todd Liston hanging on to the outside line. And it looks like Liston has got a good momentum coming off the turn. And let's see how that push is going to work out for those guys. I do believe they have that figured out by now. Ooh, there we have a coming together. And that is Curran Beckler with, I believe that's Jason Coe. Let's go and bring that back for you. There we are under yellow, and I apologize for the scoring being a little bit off here. It looks like scoring is not counting the yellow laps for some reason. They're supposed to. We'll have to keep an eye on that. It is still Kyle Eli in the first position with Jake Brooks still in second. And now it shows Anderson in the lead, but that is not correct. He took a tow to the pit because of that incident. And it looks like Curran, Beckler, and Anderson are the ones on pit road trying to get their cars fixed. There are no fast repairs in this series, and that means that the iRacing will calculate their repairs for them. Yeah, according to my information, we were going to count the yellow laps, but it looks like we're not. They may have changed that last minute. I was not aware of that, but that's okay. We'll get it all figured out. As you can see, the guys are getting eager to go, already lined up. The lights on the pace car are not yet out. You can see that the pit lane kind of curves the main straightaway and the turn 3. In case there's a lot of cars joining in, there's plenty of room. And those two drivers, Anderson and Beckler, still on the pit lane. Not sure if they can get those cars fixed up to get back out again. And it definitely looks like the yellow laps are not being scored. That's why you see your scoring jumping up and down a little bit there. Unfortunately, I cannot change that. And Kyle Eli gets a good jump on the start here. Look at that. Couple of car lengths on Jake Brooks with Hufstadler in third. Oh, and we have another yellow. And let's see who that is. That is Todd Liston getting in trouble there. And he's getting a little help. It looks like Todd can keep on going fairly easily. I don't see Todd going into the pits, and that was DeMarzo that was involved in that as well, in the blue and orange car. There you have Todd Liston. And your leader is still Kyle Eli. His last restart had a big jump on the field there. That means that the guys behind him are warned now that Kyle likes to start early, and they need to be awake and on the ball if they want to make sure they stay with him. It is up to the first man to restart the race on these restarts. So what Kyle is doing is perfectly okay. And it's just up to the guys behind him to just pay attention and make sure that they see all the signs of Kyle trying to get started. And looks like Samuel Fontaine has brought his car to the pit lane as well. Not sure if he was the other car involved in that incident. And as you can see on the top left of your screen, we are almost 6 minutes into the race. We have a time limit on this race. So the race is scheduled for 80 laps or 45 minutes, and whatever comes first. And so in that respect, it really doesn't matter whether we are counting the yellow laps or not. If the 45 minutes are reached first, then the checkered flag will be flown. It looks like Fontaine is back out again. We're going single file now because it was too short of a green flag period between these yellows. There once again, Kyle Eli has a jump on Jake Brooks. It looks like Jake and Hufstadler are paying attention this time. It is the 48 of Shockley right behind the 94. Then it's DeMarzo in 5th position. It's Todd Liston here in 6th. Matthew Teller in 7th. Kevin Davis in a 21 there. In 8th, it's 9th is Robert Smith, and Kyle Fredrickson is your top 10 driver. Let's go bring her back up to the front here. It looks like, once again, we have a caution. And it looks like it is DeMarzo just losing it on his own there, coming off of turn 2. Bring that back for you once again. Part of the problem is on these tracks that under the yellow line, what we call the apron is flat, and the turns are banked, and when you get two wheels under that yellow line on that apron, that will upset the handling of the car, and that is likely to throw you around, and that is probably what occurred here with AJ. And it looks like he is going to the pit. Not very much visible what the damage is. It's a little hard to tell on these cars. But he is opting for new tires, it looks like, so I'm sure he's going to go back in. And it looks like Beckler and Anderson. Beckler is still in the pits, and it looks like Kevin Anderson. Let's see here, Beckler. Yeah, I'm not sure if he's been running. Yeah, that's Beckler. He was back running. Kevin Anderson, I don't believe that he came back out. So once again, on your scoring on the left there, DeMarzo is not first. He is actually going out. That means his car will stand in the pits, and scoring gets a little confused because of the yellow laps not counting. It is Kyle Eli still your leader, in front of Jake Brooks, Sean Huffstutler, and Jacob Shockley. Hopefully the guys will settle down a little bit and get some green flag racing in. And it does look like Race Control is going to set him up double file this time. So alongside Kyle Eli, it'll be Jake Brooks. And behind him, it'll be Huffstutler and Shockley. And it looks like Kyle Eli has a bit less of a big jump here. It looks like Jake Brooks. We don't even get to race one lap here, folks. Let's go find out what's going on. The 08 and the 669 and the 52 getting together here. Let's go bring that back for you. Was that the 669? I do believe so. Yep, he looks like he's going back on. Let's bring that back for you here. It is actually in turn 1 where it all goes wrong, and it looks like the 08 gets turned around by somebody else, and the 669 and the 52 are just bystanders, getting caught up in a spin. Well, that makes things pretty relaxed for Kyle Eli. Every time he gets going, he gets to slow down again and just cruise around, and he's still in first position. So once again, I do think that the guys need to settle down a little bit and get some green flag racing in to make sure that they can give Kyle Eli some competition. Brooks and Huffstutler were pretty close behind him on that last restart there, with Shockley in 4th, and behind Shockley, we see Telder and Fredrickson, and then Stefan and Jordan Berry is now up to 8th position. He started in the back, so Jordan Berry is doing good work here. Fredrickson is also up 10 spots, so that looks like he's doing a good job here. And Jordan Berry up 7 spots. Jason Coe up 7 spots, so those guys are doing a good job. Obviously being helped a little bit by the problems other people create. Looks like Curran Beckler and Kevin Anderson are not running. I did not see Horniak and Schuch take the start of the race, and it looks like DeMarzo has left as well. And Race Control, it looks like they're going to go single file this time. Yes, indeed. Long stretched out field that way. As you can see, between turn 1 and 2, that's really not much of a straight. It's basically just an extension of the turn. The track kind of makes me think of the old Nazareth Speedway in Pennsylvania, except that was a little bit longer. It was a mile long. This is not even a half mile. And there you see Kyle Eli once again taking a big jump on Jake Brooks. Huffstutler in third, Shockley in fourth, and then it's Matthew Teller in fifth with Kyle Fredrickson right behind him there. The rest of the field following. Kyle Eli once again gets a really big jump here on the guys. Let's keep an eye here on Brooks. It looks like Eli is running in about a 1/10 of a second per lap quicker than Brooks, with Huffstutler in third, and he's got Shockley to worry about there right behind him. Coming back through turn 3 on the main straightaway, the 94 of Huffstutler holding off Shockley there. And it looked like further back there's a bit of a battle with Fontaine, Stefan, and Barry. Barry dropped back one position to the 9th place. Jason, it looks like Barry is running a little bit wide on entry there. Let's check back up front. It looks like Eli is running about 1.2 seconds away from Jake Brooks. Huffstutler has caught up with Brooks, it looks like, and it looks like they're shaking Shockley a little bit. And then there's a little bit further back, a bit more of a gap towards Jacob Shockley and Matthew Teller and Samuel Fontaine. So Brooks and Huffstutler are fighting here for the 2nd position, and we are going to be messing with back markers here already. It looks like Kyle Eli is finding his way through there. Guys looks like one of them is blinking. That is always really tough to deal with because you can't place your car for sure. It makes you feel uncertain of where to go. Brooks and Huffstutler are making their way through there as well. Shockley is now dropping back a little bit, about 1.3 seconds from Huffstutler. And it looks like Fredrickson is also about a second behind Shockley. Teller is right on his tail with Fontaine following as well. Jordan Berry is back in 8th position. Oh, Jordan has some big understeer there coming off turn 3. We saw that in practice a couple times. Let's go bring her back up here to Jake Brooks in the 2nd position. Huffstutler in the 3rd position.
The yellow flag is out.
And we have another yellow. Well, we ran a couple of laps. And that looks like Jordan Berry, and we already saw him have that push coming off of turn 3, and now he has it coming off of turn 2, it looks like. There you have it. It's off of turn 2 where he gets in trouble too high, maybe in the gray part in the marbles, and no grip at all, and he puts it in the wall. Unfortunately for Jordan Berry. Let's go see if he's running again. Yeah, he's still moving, and it looks like he's not going into the pits, so maybe the damage isn't all that bad. Or is it? Let's take a look at that front end there. It looks like he's coming to a stop there, trying to figure out what is wrong with the car maybe. And he gets moving once again, but that makes him drop down the order quite significantly, dropping back to the 12th spot. Let's keep an eye on him and see if he is going to come into the pit lane. If he needs repairs on that car, there he comes. He is definitely opting for at least other tires, I would say, but maybe some repairs. Shockley also has gone into the pits. The 48 car that you see moving to that first pit stall that's being occupied, that is him, Jacob Shockley. And let's see who else we've got. We have Jordan Berry in, and Beckler has not moved, and Anderson has not moved. So it's out here, it is still Kyle Eli and Jake Brooks up front, with Huffstutler in 3rd and Fredrickson now in 4th. It looks like Fredrickson has gotten the better of Matthew Teller while we were looking at some other stuff. Jordan Berry once again shown still in the pit. There he is. A field going by means he's going a lap down. Actually, I'm not sure if that's true because the yellow laps don't count. Not sure how they do that. There's Todd Liston. He has been in the pits. So he's catching back up to the rear end of the pack. And we are back racing. Kyle Eli is moving along there with no time to spare. Brooks is hanging on to that second spot. Hufstutler in third, and Fredrickson is in fourth. And as you can see, Fredrickson has Telder and Fontaine there right behind him, and also Michael Steffen is also following there. That is this is Michael Steffen, the 669 car. So let's take a look here at the leading guys. Eli has got a bit of a distance, 0.8 of a second now. Jake Brooks. Hufstutler is about a half a second behind him. It's Fredrickson, also about a half a second between those guys. Then we see Telder and Fontaine fighting for it. It looks like Fontaine goes to the inside and takes that position away from him. And there we have another caution. That looks like Jason Coe has come to a halt against the retainer there. He gets a little help from the 21. Round. I don't believe he really hit that retainer, so he gets to turn around and try again. He is in front of the leaders now, in front of the pace car, so Jason's going to have to go around and catch up to the tail end of the field. It looks like Hufstutler has gone to the pit in the 94 car there, opting for tires probably. Not sure if anything else happened to him. That surprises me a little bit, that guys that are running up front, nobody else is pitting, and then they are the only one pitting, that think that they would realize how costly that is. Ooh, it looks like he's gone. Yeah, he's out. He's out. There must have been something wrong with that car. It looks like Hufstutler has left the race. He's shown as out. All right, so that means that one threat behind Kyle Eli has been eliminated there. The one that was running behind Brooks. It is now Fredrickson behind Brooks in third position in the orange car, and behind him we see Matthew Telder in that purple car, and Fontaine in the red car up high there. Then behind those guys, it is the 669 of Michelson. He's trying to catch back up to the tail end of the field. There you saw it. The lights on the pace car will be going out here shortly, I'm sure. And it looks like they're going to be restarting single file here. There he goes, Kyle Eli on the gas really early, and it looks like Jake is quite awake at this time. That's about as good as it's going to get on those restarts for him. Fredrickson here in third, Telder in fourth, Fontaine in fifth, and Steffen in sixth. A little bit more distance to Jacob Shockley here in the 48 car. So let's keep an eye here on Fredrickson. He's working hard to stay with Jake Brooks. We can ride along with him real quickly. There you see it. That's Jake Brooks right in front of us. And further up there, that's Kyle Eli walking away from Brooks, it looks like. And as you can tell, that little short chute between turn 1 and 2 is really basically just an extension of the turn. Ooh, he gets underneath that line here. Got to be careful doing that. Won't be the first time. It looks like Fredrickson is reeling in Brooks and trying to fight him for position. There he goes to the inside as Brooks runs towards the wall. Kyle Fredrickson picks up the second position behind Kyle Eli, and Jake Brooks is dropping to third. And let's see what Brooks can do hanging with Fredrickson. It doesn't look like he's slower. Matthew Telder behind there in the purple car with Samuel Fontaine right behind him. And then a little bit further back, it looks like Jacob Shockley is passing Michael Steffen for the 6th position. And it looks like Steffen is not giving up on that either. Look at him, he's right there behind the 48. Let's go back to Brooks here. It looks like Fredrickson is putting a little bit of distance on Jake Brooks. Matthew Telder is behind there, still duking it out with Samuel Fontaine. And about almost 2 seconds towards Jacob Shockley is behind there. And it looks like meanwhile Kyle Eli is having some fun by himself, going around back markers. He doesn't look back. He's already got over 2 seconds on Kyle Fredrickson. Fredrickson followed by Brooks by about a half a second, and then it's about 1.3 to Telder, and he is still fighting with Fontaine. This is the fight for 5th and 6th position. I'm sorry, 4th and 5th. That's Matthew Telder in the purple car and Samuel Fontaine in the red and white car. Both of them going underneath that yellow line there. I guess at that point it doesn't seem to hurt them all that bad. They're working their way past the back markers. This is where it gets really tricky. You gotta kind of trust those back markers to give you the room to race. And the one they've just passed is most certainly doing that. That was the 81 of Kevin Anderson. There we see another slower car that looks like Jordan Berry on the inside. And it doesn't seem to bother Telder and Fontaine all that much. They're still going at it here. Let's go check on Kyle Fredrickson working his way through the traffic. He's now got 1.3 seconds on Jake Brooks, Matthew Telder, and Fontaine behind there. Shockley is running by himself. Then it's Steffen also running by himself. Robert Smith running by himself. Kevin Davis kind of running by himself. Jason Cole in the number 10 car. I'm sorry, in the number 54 car, also running by himself. So the best here, there we have a pass, a fight for the 4th position being taken over by Samuel Fontaine. Lap 40, so we're going to be going halfway here. Fontaine takes away that position from Matthew Telder. Up front, it's still Kyle Eli. He's got about 3.2 seconds on Kyle Fredrickson. And Kyle has about 2 seconds on Jake Brooks. Nothing changes there, so we're going to keep an eye on this fight here. Fontaine and Telder. It looks like Telder's dropping back just a notch because Fontaine is working his way past some back markers here. See if we can figure out who that is. That is Jason Cole in the 10th position. And now it looks like Telder gets by there. Telder got held up a little bit there and loses quite a bit of ground on Fontaine, it looks like. Jacob Shockley is closing in on Matthew Telder because of that. You can see those guys coming closer together. The 48 chasing after that purple car. That is for 5th and 6th position. Let's go check on Jake Brooks. It looks like Samuel Fontaine is closing in on Jake Brooks there in the 3rd position. There you have him, the 57, the black car. Then there's a back marker, and the red and white car, that is Samuel Fontaine right behind Jake Brooks. So he is definitely ambitious enough to go for the number 57 car in 3rd position. We have Jacob Shockley right behind Matthew Telder now. And we have Jordan Berry. Ooh, Jordan's missing. Jake Brooks and Samuel Fontaine here now close together. That's the battle for 3rd position. Shockley right behind Telder. That is right behind Brooks and Fontaine. So 3rd and 4th and 5th and 6th are battling for position currently. It looks like Shockley is going underneath the 21. That was not for position. That is Kevin Davis, back marker. Let's go back up front and check here with Samuel Fontaine. And meanwhile, it's Kyle Eli way up front. He's about almost 4 seconds ahead of Kyle Fredrickson. Let's show him here for a minute. There you have him, Kyle Eli, the leader. Then it's Kyle Fredrickson in the 2nd position.
Yellow flag is out.
And lap 51, we're going yellow once again. Ooh, that looked like Matthew Telder and Shockley got together there. Let's bring that back for you. Yeah, that's Shockley underestimating the slowing rate of Telder, hitting him in the back and turning him around. It looks like he gets back on his way. Kyle Eli now going into the pits and being followed by Kyle Fredrickson and Jake Brooks. Shockley staying out. That means that Jacob Shockley would be picking up the lead. Well, it looks like Kyle is opting for new tires. And so is Brooks, Fontaine, Stefan in the pit, Fredrickson in the pit. And Jordan Berry has left. Unfortunately, his day is done here at the with the modifieds. Hopefully, we'll see him back in Montreal after this race for the trucks. There you see Fredrickson coming out of the pits. And I do believe that Shockley has also gone in. No, he has not. So we'll have to see how they come back up to the pace car. I do believe that Stockley is your leader. And in front of Stockley, we see Robert Smith. That is a back marker in the 08 car, the red and white car you see there, right behind the pace car. Then it's Jacob Shockley in the black car. That is the 48 of Jacob Shockley in the lead currently. And it looks like Kyle Eli brought it back out in 2nd. Jake Brooks is 3rd. Kyle Fredrickson is 3rd. That means that Brooks has passed Fredrickson in the pits. Samuel Fontaine is 5th now ahead of Matthew Telder. He is in 6th. And then it looks like Stefan is in the pits. Kevin Davis in the pits. That means that Robert Smith and Jason Cole might pick up a position here. And they do. And then it's Curran Beckler in the 35 car. He's 4 laps down from the guy in front of him. Robert Smith catching up to the back end of the field. He is been waved past the pace car. That means we're going to go racing. There you go. Pace car is in. Jacob Shockley is your leader. He's very early on the gas here, and he walks away from Kyle Eli. Kind of pulls the same stunt Kyle does. Jake Brooks behind him in 3rd, and it's Fredrickson. What happened to Fredrickson? It looks like Fredrickson is in 7th position, but that doesn't look right to me. He must be a lap down then. Not sure what's going on here. Kyle Eli has passed Shockley already. See if we can bring that back. There you have it. That is this number 18 car on the main straightaway into turn 1. He's coming underneath the 48 and picks the lead up as he had it before. Jake Brooks has also passed Shockley. Fontaine has passed Shockley. So it looks like Jacob Shockley, by staying out on older tires, is kind of giving away his positions here. Eli in front, Jake Brooks in 2nd, Fontaine in 3rd. Fontaine is fighting that orange car, and that is Kyle Fredrickson, but he is a lap down on Fontaine. Once again, sometimes it's a little bit confusing because those yellows aren't counted, and the scoring is updated on the first green lap. But it's Fontaine in third, it is Shockley in fourth, and Telder in fifth. Let's go find out what is going on. And that looks like Carl Fredrickson. Let's go see what happened. He gets underneath that yellow line. He runs into the wall all by himself here. That is a driver error, definitely. Of course, we're all human and stuff happens. He going into pits. It looks like he parks it there at the entry of the pit lane, and that tells me that he's kind of done. Field slowing down here behind the pace car. It is still Kyle Eli on the first position. Samuel Fontaine now in the second spot, and Jacob Shockley back up in third. But you could tell that Shockley on those older tires was definitely having some trouble compared to the guys that pitted. And obviously, you know, when he has to pit now, he's going to lose a lot of track position because all the other guys are staying out. Most of the drivers have pitted on lap 51, and Shockley has last pitted on lap 19. So those tires are definitely a lot older. And it was pretty obvious that there was quite a bit of difference in fresh tires. Now he's going in. That means he's gonna probably drop back to about 6th or 7th if I'm not mistaken. We'll see how that plays out. There's another car in the pits. That is Robert Smith. Robert is a lap down. He's in front of the pace car now. He's going to catch up to the back end of the field. Shockley in the pits getting new rubber. And he will be coming out probably in 6th position. There he goes. Yep, he will hang on to that 6th position. And if I am informed correctly, the back markers will have to go to the end of the line. And that means that Jake Brooks will be in the position where he is supposed to race. Although the lights are already out, not sure if they're going to do that anymore now. Let's go see if Kyle gets one of those famous jumps once again. Yes, he does. Looks like Samuel Fontaine is paying attention and trying to hang with him there. Then it's Matthew Teller in 3rd. Brooks is in 4th. Robert Smith looks like he is in 5th in front of Jacob Shockley in 6th. And those are the guys running for position on the lead lap. So yes, he did get his position. Shockley now going for Robert Smith on that 3rd turn into turn 1. He is already ahead in 5th position. Jake Brooks going for Matthew Telder there in the 3rd turn. He picks up 3rd position, and he is on his way after Samuel Fontaine. Telder right behind him, and it looks like Shockley is dropping back a little bit. Oh, maybe he is stuck behind some more traffic there. This is Telder, and Shockley is 3.2 seconds behind Telder. So yes, Shockley is stuck behind some slower cars. Kyle Eli still in front. Samuel Fontaine about just under a second. Ooh, and it looks like Fontaine almost loses it there in the 3rd turn. And you can see on the left side of your screen the lap times of Eli are just simply quicker than the guys behind him. Jake Brooks is hanging on with Fontaine pretty good. It looks like he's closing in a little bit. That's going to be a battle for 2nd position. Telder about a 1.5 seconds behind those guys. Shockley is now about 1.6 behind Telder. I'm sorry, 3 seconds behind Telder. And he has passed He has passed Robert Smith here. Oh, and Smith gets it wrong.
Yellow flag.
Gets it wrong coming off of, what is that, turn 1. Let's go and bring that back. Yeah, he does it all by himself. And when he backs up, that's the pace car. He doesn't have to worry about that. The pace car is a ghost. But he does get in front of other people, and I always have a little bit of trouble with that. You're the one that crashed. You need to make sure you don't ruin anybody else's day. His engine's smoking. That's not a good sign. So let's see if he is bringing that baby to the pit lane. Yes, he is. Smoking like a chimney. Rubbing up against the wall. And he's got to back it up. It looks like he's coming in. And I would say that that race car is pretty much done. So Eli is still in front here, and it looks like Fontaine is hanging on to that second position really nicely. It is Jake Brooks in the third spot. It's Matthew Telder in the fourth spot. And it's going to be Jacob Shockley moving up to the fifth spot. And the way I see it, we still only have 6 drivers on the lead lap. Eli, actually it's only 5. Eli, Fontaine, Brooks, Telder, and Shockley. Shockley there in the 48 car. There he is. And it looks like Robert Smith has gone to the pit. Single file once again. There goes Eli. Fontaine has Jake Brooks right behind him. Looks like Brooks is diving to that inside in turn 1. Brooks wants that second position, and he wants to get his shot at going after Eli, but Fontaine denies him that pleasure. He holds him off. It's Telder right there behind them, and Shockley in the 5th position, also right there. Fontaine holding off Jacob Brooks. And meanwhile, Eli is just walking away from these guys. 1.4 seconds already. Samuel Fontaine getting a little bit of a cushion there on Brooks. Telder still behind with Shockley right behind him. And it looks like Shockley is hanging pretty good there with Telder. Telder keeping that inside line. Ooh, not as I say it, he goes up a little higher. And it looks like Shockley is really trying very hard to get that car underneath there. I like the paint job on Telder's car. Fontaine still holding off Jake Brooks by about a second now. He's got a little bit of a breather between there. Telder and Shockley are closer together. All these guys pitted fairly at pretty much at the same time. Some at lap 57, some at lap 51. We're on lap 73 of 80 currently. Ooh, it looks like Shockley runs a little wide there. Telder seems to be in control of that 4th position currently. Let's go check on your leader, Kyle Eli. He is 1.2 seconds ahead of Samuel Fontaine in second position, and then about 1.1 seconds behind that is the 57 of Brooks. Then it's Telder and Shockley, and then Kevin Davis is further back in the 21 car. He is a lap behind Shockley. Telder still holding off Shockley here. It looks like Jacob Shockley is hanging with him really well and waiting for that opportunity. A lot of the times, it is just a matter of trying to keep putting pressure on the guy in front of you, trying to get him nervous, trying to make him look in those mirrors, and trying to get him to make a slight mistake somewhere where you can take some advantage. It's not an easy track to pass on here. Looks like Stockley was running a little bit wide there. Back markers once again to deal with here. There you see the 81 of Anderson. And it looks like Brooks is dropping back a little bit from Fontaine, and now sees Telder and Shockley gaining on him in his mirrors. Stefan here fighting the 21 of Kevin Davis. Ooh, it looks like Stefan is coming to a stop there. Not sure what the problem is here. Oh, now I know. We're past the finish line. I apologize. I was looking around too much, and the checker flag has already flown. That's how quickly the laps will go by on a track like Concord, North Carolina. I apologize for that. It is Kyle Eli that picks up the win. Samuel Fontaine in second place, and Jeremy Brooks in the third spot. There you see them at the finish line. There you have your racing order, your finishing order. Let's go see if we can find some of these guys. Jake, you're the first one out here, so we'll just start with you. Third place position. Congratulations with that. How was this going for you?
Man, it was a fun race. It was definitely hard, definitely weird. Never ran here with those cars. But I never had anything for Kyle. Kyle's on another level with these cars. We might have to get him to start in the back in the next race to give us a chance.
Yeah, we're gonna have to just ask him what the secret is, probably.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. He's really good in these cars.
Yeah, it looked like you were at the final few laps. It looks like you were being reeled in by Fontaine there a little bit. Were your tires gone?
No, I actually had probably newer tires than him. I just
I'm
was overdriving.
Yeah,
And
I'm
all
sorry.
that.
It was the other way around. You were gaining on. You were. I'm sorry, sir. It's a long night.
No, I feel you. But yeah, that was the reason why I did feel like I was getting a little closer to him at the very end. Was because I did have a little bit newer tires.
Yeah, I saw all of you guys. Most of the top drivers pitted right around lap 51, 57, somewhere around there. Were the tires dropping off that quickly in about a half a race?
No, not necessarily. My right front was only at 97, so it really wasn't that bad of a drop off. I just my mind tells me freshies are better, so that's why.
So forgive me for maybe being a little bit bold, but it looks to me like everybody's having a little bit of trouble on these short ovals getting things sorted out in the beginning. We have quite a few yellows early in the race, and then after that we get some good stints of green flag racing. Obviously, we're going to have yellows. I mean that's just part of the deal around here. But why do you think is it hard to get this stuff under control on these tracks? So what's the deal here?
I think just people are just rushing things. They're not realizing that there's 80 laps and they're just trying to make everything up on that initial start. I think if just people just relax more, I think it'd be a lot better.
Let's face it. To finish first, you first have to finish, right?
Exactly.
All right, Jake. Thanks very much, man. Third place, good finish for you. I'm not quite sure where you are in the championship, but I'm sure these points are going to help you either way.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Any love yous and thank yous you want to throw out tonight?
Yeah, man, I'd like to thank all my guys, Kevin and Ron and Adam and Hunter. We always practice together, and they help me a lot. And you can always go check us out on Facebook at Brooks Motorsports 3. We just keep up uh, with everything we do on iRacing over there.
Will do,
And
man.
oh yeah, and thanks for the broadcast as well.
Oh, I love to do it, man. No problem whatsoever. All right, Jake, thank you very much. Well, since we started with number three, let's move on to number two here, Samuel Fontan. It looked like you ran a very, very solid race here, getting just working your way up steadily towards the front there. Congratulations on that. How was it for you?
Ah, thanks. It was pretty fun though. It's a tricky track. Not used to that track much, but with those cars mostly, kind of tight at first of the race. But it was a fun race, managing the tires and yeah.
Did you have any major drop offs of the tires, or was it kind of similar to what Jake was saying that they weren't really that bad, but since everybody goes in, you do the same thing?
Yeah, in fact, I was more happy with my whole tires. I think I was faster than the other up front. If nobody was about to pit, I would have been like really more happy with that. But no, it was fine. The tires didn't have much drop off if you were able to take them pretty cold during the race. So it was pretty good though.
So for some drivers, it looks to me like going below that yellow line in turn two was getting them in trouble a little bit. Did you have any problems with that? That underneath that yellow line on the apron, that your car is getting upset?
For my part, during practice, I noticed that. So I was trying to use that bottom line there to make the car a little bit loose when it was tight at first. So get a little bit more heat on my right rear tires. But after that, when I was trying to avoid to go lower than the line, because yes, it was kind of really tricky.
That's what I thought. All right, Samuel. Do you prefer to go by Samuel or Sam?
Both it's perfect.
Okay, where are you from?
I'm from Quebec in Canada, so French Canadian.
All right. Okay, cool. Great to have you on board with us, man. Okay, man. Any love yous and thank yous you want to throw towards Canada?
Uh, yeah, I mean, just the guys in the league, Mike, Jake, and the other guys who put the league together, and my team, Moneymakers. Pretty fun group of drivers, and of course you for the broadcast. Really, thanks, man.
No problem at all, Sam. Thanks very much for being here, man. We appreciate it. Once again, congratulations, and we'll see you next. Are you going to go to the trucks as well?
Yeah, of course I'm going to fight for the win tonight.
Yeah, that's your home truck.
Hopefully.
That's your home race, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it is.
All right. Thank you, Sam. Kyle, they want me to ask you what the secret is.
I don't really have a secret. I mean, I love these cars. So I have a lot of laps, and I've basically raced these cars on every track. Concord, actually, I have probably less laps on, but it's just being able, I don't know, to drive the track. It's more about driving the track than driving the car. I mean, I have kind of some knowledge of how the car drives IRL and kind of bring that towards iRacing, but these are it could be a really tight car or a really loose car. You just gotta run a few laps. Once you get in the groove, you should be really set.
I see. So, and probably if there was a secret, you weren't going to tell us anyway, right?
I mean, I'm all about helping people. So if anybody has any questions ever, wants help before the race, I would definitely lend a hand because it's fun being able to race against people and seeing people grow as drivers because you race against people in official races that maybe 2 to 3 tenths off, but after a month or two they're battling side by side with you, so it's pretty cool to see.
I hear you, man, and it's racing other people and fighting with them on track is part of the fun, as it is anyway, right?
Absolutely. That's why, I I forget who's in the lead there when I pitted, but he just gave me the lead, and I told him he didn't have to do that because racing side by side is what I come here for. Especially like when you're lapping lap cars, it's kind of exciting because the place was pretty congested, so you had to bite your time, get around them as soon as you could, but make sure that it was safe. And thank God I didn't get in a lot of wrecks. I know they don't count caution laps, but this race was kind of iffy with the amount of cautions we had. It's really tough track, and just hitting the apron too really unstabilizes the car. So this is probably, like Michael said in the Discord earlier today, this is probably the hardest racetrack on the schedule. Even I had trouble being consistent on my laps because I would slide up in 3 and 4. I wouldn't really hit the bottom the way I wanted, or I would slide up in 1 and 2. But all in all, I think the car was good. Michael, I think, builds these setups, so he's doing a really good job. And yeah.
Awesome. No, that's good to hear. All right, Kyle, I'm gonna have to end you because we have to go and get ready to go to the trucks in Montreal. Do we see you there?
No, I mean, I'd love to run trucks, but I got another league race here in 30 minutes for modified.
That's right. Now I remember. You told me that last week too. All right, Kyle. Any love yous and thank yous you quickly want to throw out there?
Yeah, just Michael for always putting on these races and you broadcasting. It's a lot of fun. Should be back next week.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next week, Kyle.
Yep.
All right, folks, that'll do it for right now here with the modifieds. We are going to end this broadcast here real quickly, and we're going to go towards the Montreal track to run the trucks for the the short track Super League. Sorry, and we'll see. Hopefully, we'll see you there.